Yo, what is good? My anniversary. What is good, yo? So, I had the plan of using Aqua for Swiggler actually, because she actually is someone just like Sora who sways the people's hearts. And I thought it was kind of cute that that was the way the doctor kind of threatened our Swiggler this week is trust me, you can't sway my heart. It's like, alright, but if she jumps in the way and tries to take your death for you, I don't think you'll be singing a different tune. But with this week's episode, we really don't get much of anything besides the fact of the matter of how embarrassed the executioners are, and even with them being embarrassed and pretty much suspending the people who got their whole entire company embarrassed and finally has suffered utter defeat, that he is still out there trying to make an amends for himself. Like he hasn't got the picture that there's just some people you can't beat. But I'd say that to say this. I think he's going to get some craziness in. Do I think he's going to kill somebody? Maybe. But I feel like he's already been kind of the butt of all the punishment, and to think that he didn't bring his pupil, which gave him another fighting chance in the very first encounter. But now that the second encounter hasn't happened and it happened, now that the second encounter happened, it's clear that she's a she's also something that can get in the way of him completing his task. I'm not sure if every single master and student pupil are the same when it comes to the relationship, and if their pupil goes down and actually is in harm's way to die, that's just how it is, right? Like, I feel like it shouldn't be the case just by the way he reacted, but that could just be because of who his partner is, and that would make sense why he's so much weaker. Because if you're an executioner, the only thing I'm guessing they expect from you is to complete the job. And if completing the job means the sacrifice of one pupil, by God, I think they would probably do that, right? Seeing how they suffered a defeat and now they're sending out every master and pupil that they have under contract to take out our people. So on the flip side of that, we just get to watch our hacker kind of leave. Out of all people to be able to figure out how to take off a remote control or a auto detonating time bomb on the neck, would have been him, right? Like he was probably so bored after doing what they needed to do to actually do the mission that that's when he was talking about, yeah, I looked into the necklace. Like, oh, yeah, we were talking and doing stuff, but because y'all were talking and doing stuff, I just figured out how to get this necklace off, and now I'm not in any threat. I'm gonna do what I want to do. The problem with the hacker is he leaves his parting gift to our Swiggler, and I feel like it's something of a way of just saying he can track them and show back up at any time. It's like his invitation back to the show. And not only his invitation, but pretty much another way to kind of he probably heard everything that was being said, right? But he even has that much more of a closer hearing and understanding from Swiggler than anybody because she's the one carrying the dog robot. So the hacker is definitely an interesting point of the story now to me, just because it doesn't really align with anything anymore. Like him doing this is his own selfish thing, his own way of saying, I want to do something that is for me. And not only is he saying that and doing it, he's going to the worst place possible to be going with the amount of money that's on his head thanks to all the executioners. Not to mention, everybody probably survives because they're together, right? Imagine if they're all separated and they just go to a place where they EMP. The hacker is hacked, right? Like, the hacker is done for. If you EMP everything he owns on his person, it's GG's in the chat, you know? So I think these are the kind of cool points of, if you separate at this point and you already had this ginormous bounty, granted, they already had these bounties and they were like on their own, still just roaming around the streets, beating up robots that, the grappler was just destroying at the beginning, to the carrier still carrying out his missions, to the doctor girl just noticing someone's hurt and then ends up killing everybody else and saving that person. Or maybe just causing deep lacerations to everybody and healing them. I don't know, man. The doctor had the weirdest intro out of all of them. She's like, "Oh my god, that person's dying," and then we end up with a train full of dead persons, dead people, and then she is like, "Yeah, but at least I saved that other guy." Like, okay, but you murdered a whole entire stop, just just to pretty much say that, yeah, I saved somebody though, so this show was definitely interesting in the long term. Like, I honestly could not tell you what's going to happen to these characters, if these characters are so important that they shouldn't die off, or that if all these characters aren't just going to sooner or later go their own separate ways. To hear the doctor say, "Don't let your guard down because I won't be swayed by you," kind of is a notion to me that there is always some kind of gap in between all of them that could easily allow them to walk away from these groups. And maybe that will be the thing, is after it's all said and done and they complete what they want to complete and feel accomplished, or get their money, whatever their end goal actually is, that indeed can lead us to understanding the, the story. If all of a sudden another, job comes up and they're all chosen again or something like that towards the end. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't care. As long as it's interesting and fun as it's been, I will be here for the ride and watching with my eyes wide open. So let me know if there's anything I didn't talk about that you guys noticed, or if there's something else within the story that we've been told and we just don't have a good understanding. But man, RIP to the cat that got Thanos snapped, man. I was really hoping the cat would show back up, but here we are, cat list. And instead of getting a cat back, we get a can, or like a little thing that can spawn any food that you ask for in the world besides soup. Because they didn't want the thing getting messy, then they would have to clean it. But somehow having meat that has its own oils and juices and blood don't make it dirty. I I don't know. Don't ask me. Okay. They're the ones that know what makes stuff dirty, okay? Alright. But yeah, well, all that being said, everybody, take care. Have an awesome one. And peace.